I may not be able to see Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters like a lot of you already have, but in the meantime, I think this will do for now. What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I'm here to share with you my official movie review for the newest installment in the DC animated library titled Batman Assault on Arkham. Now, this animated film was directed by Jay Olivia and Ethan Spalding, and it stars the very talented cast of Kevin Conroy coming back once again to play as the Dark Knight, and Troy Baker as the Joker. Now, in terms of plot, this particular storyline does take place before the events of Arkham Asylum. And what happens is that Batman, right at the beginning of the film, captures the Riddler and sends him to Arkham. However, Amanda Waller, for some reason, needs to get a hold of his cane. So she actually recruits multiple different type villain-like characters in order to break them into Arkham Asylum. She kind of recruits them as the new additions to the potential Suicide Squad. And the reason that they are breaking into Arkham to gain a hold of his cane is because apparently Edward Nygma placed a USB portraying a list of all the potential members of the Suicide Squad, and she wants to get it back. So she recruits, let me see if I can remember correctly because there's a number of members. She recruits Killer Frost, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and a couple other members, which I won't spoil for now. And they break into Arkham, and they potentially have to kind of act like a team in order to get a hold of Riddler's cane. While that's happening, Batman is going all through Gotham trying to find out where Joker put this dirty bomb. However, certain events happen which then recalls Batman back to Arkham to deal with the situation, and it is really from there that our main premise of the film starts taking hold. Now, what did I think about Arkham, or this particular installment in the Arkham franchise, is I liked it for what it was, but for someone like me, I couldn't enjoy it as much as I would want. And the reason being is that the animated film sets things up in a way that's supposed to bring suspense, but because I already know everything that happens in this Arkham universe, you know certain things aren't going to happen. I mean, the whole suspense deals with who on this Suicide Squad is going to die, because if they step out of line, Amanda Waller will blow their heads off. But because you know that certain members survive, and you see them in later installments, you know they will not die in this film. And if you don't see them in later installments, then you can make a safe bet that a number of them will not make it. And I was actually a bit surprised that for the first half of the film, Batman is really not in the film much, and I found that actually kind of refreshing, that we spent a good amount of time actually focusing on the individual members of the Suicide Squad, or this particular version of them. And I have to say, the one character that really stood out to me the most was Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn actually gets a good amount of screen time in this film, and you actually get to see quite a lot of her. And I'm not talking about screen time, if you know what I mean. And another thing that really impressed me about Harley Quinn is that there's actually a fight that she has with Batman, and I was surprised of how well she did. I mean, while I was watching this fight, I was wondering if Batman was having a bad day, because he was not performing as well as you would expect the Dark Knight to be with his mastery skills in hand-to-hand combat. Another thing that also really stood out to me is Troy Baker's performance as the Joker. Now, he did a really great job in Arkham Origins. He brings that performance here, and just like Batman, you really don't see too much of him until the second half. But because you know what's going to happen in the rest of the Arkham franchise, you pretty much can guess what's going to happen. So what really makes this stand out and enjoyable to me is just the interaction. It's not so much the plot itself, because the plot is constantly changing, because Amanda Waller is doing things which constantly piss off the members of the Suicide Squad, and you can guess what they're going to do to her by the end of the film. You can guess. So it's not so much the element of the actual story itself, it's just the interactions of the Suicide Squad themselves that really makes this, in my opinion, not one of the best animated Batman films that we've had in a while, but certainly one of the more standout movies. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that you go out and buy this one. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a must-own, but if you're someone like me that has to have everything involving the Arkham storyline, then I guess you might eventually end up doing it anyway. But if I had to give this movie a rating, I'm going to have to give it a B-. I thought the animation was great, the fighting choreography was great. Batman really isn't in the film all that much until the second half, and the same goes with Joker, but you do get to see a lot of great chemistry and interaction between the members of the Suicide Squad and see them go through this really crazy mission and see them play off each other, which I thought was truly refreshing for this particular line of animated films. So I would suggest definitely check this film out when it releases, probably, I believe, the 12th of this month. And if you like this movie review, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to track me in my future movie reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.